Cape Porpoise, Maine. Commercial fishing pier, take 2. Hi, I'm Dan with Show Me Your Setup. Today we're going to talk about portable audio recording setups. Why? Because sometimes you need to take your setup on the road. There are a lot of reasons for this. 1, you're traveling and you need your gear. 2, I'm an audio engineer, not a mathematician. I don't do electrical engineering. I do audio. It goes in here. It comes out here. See? Oh.
Okay.
Josh, why do you think somebody might want a portable audio recording setup?
Their location is too noisy to record in for whatever reason. It may be a feature of where they live. You know, they may live in the tropics. They may not have glass windows. It may be an open air environment where they're hearing all the sounds from the outdoors, including animals, street sounds. They could be traveling and don't have the ability to have their home studio where they need to record some professional audio. Those are a couple scenarios.
All valid reasons. I would add to that people might go on location to intentionally record ambient sound in nature, in a public space, in a business location, or interviewing somebody live in person. And so for all these reasons, a portable audio recording setup is a must. One of the things I really liked about our first episode of Show Me Your Setup is that we released it before the holidays, and one of my daughters came home from college, and I was able to show it to her and my teen. They're both teens, Dan. I was able to show it to both my daughters, and they loved it. Did you have an experience with showing it to your family?
Yeah, my wife liked it, and my 11-year-old son really liked it. And he surprised me with sending me photos of his gaming setup, as if,
nice.
Hey, you can feature my setup next.
Fantastic. I had a similar reaction from my daughter. She's a freshman at Emerson right now, and she has a setup that she has at school, but she also brought her equipment home for break, and she's going to show us her setup before she goes back to school. And as a bonus, when she gets back to school, she's going to do a follow-up with her setup at school.
We're hoping that people are going to be inspired by the setups that we show, and even come on our podcast and share their setups with us. And there are a few ways you can get in touch with us. Twitter is @GoModPod. Facebook is facebook.com/GoModPod. Our website, gomodpod.com. You'll find our first video at youtube.com/@GoModPod. And that's where I showed my work from home setup. But now I think we can talk more about your mobile rig. Where did you go?
My portable audio recording setup?
Where did you go to provide us with the footage that we're about to see?
Well, first I put all the components on a windowsill and took a picture so that we could look at them slowly and talk about them.
Okay.
But then I packed up my gear, I jumped in a minivan, I grabbed somebody to get some footage of me, and I drove off to Cape Porpoise, Maine, a commercial fishing pier on the coast of Maine, where on this particular January day, it was blustery, windy, and cold.
So let's look at the outdoor footage that you captured.
While we're listening to it, let's listen to what we hear and what we don't hear. For those of you listening in, you couldn't see any of that, but the footage showed me inside a vehicle talking into a microphone. It then panned around and we got to see the coastal view of seabirds flying around, water being rippled by the wind. You could hear the wind rustle through the microphone pickups of the cell phone that was doing the recording. In contrast, I was simultaneously recording inside the vehicle with my portable audio rig. Here's how that sounds. I'm going to wave to the camera now. We're going to sync that audio up later. You're going to see that this is recording on the fly in a minivan. It's podcast anywhere. Well, professional audio anywhere. Well, audio anywhere anyways. So what we're doing is we're recording in a remote location. What am I using? Great question. And I know how to answer that question because I know everyone's dying to know. By the way, folks, links to all of the products we're talking about will be on our website. We are not affiliates. We're not marketing. We're not making any money. We're just sharing knowledge about stuff we like to use personally.
Yes, on our website, in the YouTube description, and if you're listening to the podcast, in the show notes.
Absolutely. And your favorite podcatcher, you can read the description. Well, folks, I have a microphone. It's an Electro Voice MC200. It's a dynamic microphone with a cardioid pickup pattern. I plug it into a USB interface, in this case, the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. However, the thing is, I needed to be able to hear myself. I need to monitor as well. So I plugged my headphones, which in this case are the Audio-Technica ATH M50s, which we're all familiar with from our first episode because they're the same one Josh is wearing right now and I'm wearing right now because they're our favorite headphone to use for this sort of thing for a lot of reasons.
I like the headphones so much, I even bought a Bluetooth set, like for when I'm not working.
I mean, that's just wild.
Yeah.
That's high praise. One of the features that makes them really good for what we do, critical listening, is they are closed back, so they reject some of the noise outside. And when you're recording in a remote location, this can be helpful because, as usual, you're trying to figure out what the microphone is picking up and what it's not. Speaking of what the microphone picks up and what it doesn't, here's some more footage or some more audio from that expedition to show you how well, in this case, the vehicle around me was isolating the outside noise from the inside, allowing for a good recording experience. Once again, here I am at the commercial fishing pier in Cape Porpoise, Maine. What we're doing is we're proving that you can set up a nice recording setup with your mini PC, your Scarlett Solo USB interface, a microphone on a stand so I'm not touching it and making all the thumpy rumbly noises. And let's see. Oh yeah, we're in a minivan. You could set up a recording studio in a vehicle and not catch the outside noise. Let me pause for a second while you notice, I don't know, that flapping thing over there, which indicates there's wind, but we're not hearing it. Look for the flapping thing. It's called a flag, and it's behind us.
No, it's an awning.
It's an awning. I was talking about a different flapping thing causing a shadow over there. See, that means there's wind. But do we hear it? No, we don't. No, we don't. Because we're stealthy. And there you have it. Nice, quiet recording. On location. Remotely. Crazy, but practical.
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. It's like night and day. You're at first outside in the wind, and then you're hearing professional sounding audio. Why does one bring a computer with this setup? And what kind of computer did you use?
Because I'm doing digital audio recording and I don't have a small digital audio recording dedicated device, the computer allows me to do more than just record. I can then edit the audio for later use. Also, I can just use it as a traveling computer. In this case, it's a very small Windows PC. It's the Gateway 11.6-inch 2-in-1 convertible. I bought it specifically for doing sound at a local theater at the high school. I needed something small, something lightweight, something that could play back decent audio. It does these things just fine. It's not a powerhouse, but it doesn't need to be. It's very inexpensive, and it gets the job done. And that's really the key in all things audio, getting the right tools to get the job done. Your tools will differ from my tools, but so long as they accomplish the goals we're trying to achieve, that's how you make a setup that works for you. We noticed that in the van, I had the mic on a boom stand, and that works just fine for the kind of setup that I was doing. If you were going to be doing a lot more traveling or, using rental vehicles, just more traveling in general, maybe you're flying, you're not going to want to carry a heavy weighted stand. An optional accessory you might purchase is a clamp mount mic stand. And this would, with a clamp, tighten onto the steering wheel of the vehicle, and then you could put your microphone in that, and it's very reliable, it's very sturdy, it's very steady, and it's very lightweight and portable. And so that's a good upgrade if you are going to be doing a lot of traveling with your portable audio gear. However, if you're not going to be recording specifically in cars, because that's a very unique case, there are other options, and sometime I'll show you them. So in this particular use case, we were demonstrating how you could record remote audio in an isolated location that has outside noise you want to combat. We solved that by going inside a vehicle. So you've decided you're going to work on this podcast. You've lined up a great interviewee, but they can't come to you. You need to go to them. This is your solution. Make a portable podcast rig for yourself. You can take it anywhere. You can record anywhere with anybody. Anytime. If you don't have access to high-speed internet, if you don't have the bandwidth, but you still want to do an interview with somebody you can't interview through Riverside like we're doing right now, you need to go there in person. But if you have a big desktop rig, you can't do that. How do you accomplish recording a good podcast episode remotely? Try a portable audio recording setup.
Or what if you have a deadline? You need to deliver some professional audio for Marketing Messages, which is our sister company. You have contractors over who are tearing up your house. What can you do if you're under deadline?
Before. Do you have a car? A van? Could you go outside?
You can. We just demonstrated it. As we said earlier, I think the goal is to inspire people to share their setups, and Dan and I would actually like to talk to you. If you want to get in touch with us with your setup, your idea for an episode, we would love to hear from you. And again, contact us through our website, through Twitter, Facebook, YouTube comment.
That's gomodpod.com for the website, youtube.com/@gomodpod for the YouTube channel, facebook.com/gomodpod, and our Twitter handle is @gomodpod. This has been Dan and Josh for Show Me Your Setup, Episode 2.
Clam digging by permit only.
You can only dig your clams if you have a permit.